All right, guys, welcome back to Remotely Wasted. We are back here to talk some college football with you. We're getting deep down in the season now. College
Oh,
football
yeah.
playoff rankings just came out a couple days ago. We're gonna have some criticisms of that while we give our top 12 at the moment. How did you feel about this past weekend, Jaden?
It was actually a good weekend.
I thought it was a great weekend.
Yeah, there was some upsets. Like I think the games overall were good. We can go back and look at the past week.
You got your
Uh,
screen share on?
yeah, I'll turn it on. Oh, there it is. Got to fix this.
Yeah, I mean this weekend started off crazy from the first slot of games. You had Miami going against Georgia Tech, I believe, at the 11 a.m. slot,
Yeah, Georgia Ole Miss. I think right after that.
and that was a crazy game too because I wasn't expecting Ole Miss to beat Georgia.
No, I wasn't either. I mean, I think we thought it was like
It's
semi-probable
possible.
because they were at home. Georgia's been struggling on offense lately. Defense hasn't been showing up, and then Ole Miss is kind of like catching fire at the right time. And then it was a must-win game for them. Like if they lost, they was out,
Yeah,
guaranteed. Michigan Indiana was a good game. BYU Utah, the Big 12 at night shootout. That was
that was a crazy
crazy.
game.
Alabama dog walking LSU on the road.
That was
Uh,
that was interesting because
that was a crazy game. I
that
watched
kind
that.
of just like we've been kind of giving LSU a pass
Yeah, we
the
have.
past few weeks, but now I'm like,
I didn't think they were
Is
that
Brian
bad.
Kelly really the answer for LSU?
I did not think they were that bad.
They got the
They
ass whooped.
they have a decent defense. It's like their offense can do shit. Um, Boise State struggled. It's with Nevada. It's the second time they've kind of been close.
But Genty did have a great game.
It's all we care about.
230 yards or some shit
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah. I think 209 maybe.
Maybe yeah, something like that.
Um, Iowa State got upset. Pitt got upset. Um, OU lost. Florida State lost. Army struggled a tad. Anything else crazy? OSU lost again.
They got whooped.
Vandy got beat down by South Carolina.
That one was a little surprising. I thought that was going to be a lot closer of a
I,
game.
I did too.
Not so surprised. I'm not so much surprised that South Carolina won, just the fashion that they won.
I would say Rutgers beating Minnesota is an upset. I was like, what the fuck? I was watching the game. It was pissing me off.
I kind of like Rutgers a little bit.
Yeah, I like Minnesota too. I like their coach. I think it's what PJ Fleck is his name.
Yeah, yeah, he's solid.
Yeah, Minnesota. I like Minnesota. They're cool. They're a cool team. But, um, bum, 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 bum.
Yeah, the new rankings just came out on Tuesday. It's an interesting top 12 right
Is this
now.
their actual like top four?
I think something's is something off
Yeah,
here.
there's two Big Ten teams up there.
Oh, or is
Or
it
there's three
because
Big Tens.
I think the rankings are different than like the bracket because the bracket includes the predicted conference champions. So I think this
Yeah,
is
but
who they
that's.
actually have. I think this is how they actually have them ranked
I'm looking
right
for the
now.
bracket though.
Yeah, I don't know where the bracket is right now, but I know they have Miami
Hmm.
sitting up in there in the playoff right now, like first round bye, which is just kind of insane to me. Let's see if they got they might not have the bracket like that. Surely they got the bracket around here. College football playoff. Let's see. You would think that'd just be the first thing they have on here. It's just
Like,
the
what the
current
fuck is
bracket. I
this?
bet you if you search it on Google, maybe the playoff has its own website. Uh, that's yeah. I don't know why that's not the first thing that pops up on the website right now. Let's see. Okay, here we go. That if you scroll up, it kind of had the
I want the actual bracket made out, for
yeah. I mean they have it like they have the rankings right now, what it would look like,
Where's
because we can see the first round matchups right here.
yeah, this is fine, I suppose. Yeah, Miami still having the ACC slot is kind of wild.
Yeah, I think that's insane right now. I don't
I
think.
I yeah. I agree with the other three. I know you're iffy on BYU. That game's gonna be tough. Colorado can absolutely beat BYU. I think they are pretty much a shoe-in to make it. I don't think Colorado's gonna lose again. They're getting hot.
Yeah,
BYU
they're playing
struggled
really
this
good right
past
now.
week. Was a rivalry game, was on the road. That game was nuts. Um, so that one could be changed out. Texas, I don't even know who they'd be playing in the AC or the SEC championship.
Right now I want to say they're set to face A&M,
I don't know. The SEC's a fucking mess.
but I don't know what it is right now. I honestly haven't looked into it
Let's see.
because I don't like I don't know. The SEC actually kind of doesn't feel like that good of a conference this year, surprisingly.
Yeah,
Or maybe
it's
they're just all so good.
somehow it's Tennessee and A&M.
Yeah, but okay, I get it now. So Texas and A&M play the last game of the season, basically. So the winner of that
Yeah.
probably gets in and plays Tennessee. But
Tennessee's
Tennessee
playing
also plays
Georgia this
Georgia this
weekend.
weekend, though. So
So Georgia could hop back up in there too.
yeah, I mean, Ole Miss kind of still has a shot. Bama still kind of has a shot. Missouri hypothetically kind of has a shot. LSU, if you really want to give it to them,
If you want to get crazy with it.
but I mean, probably not. I would say
Yeah.
Missouri probably doesn't either. I would say honestly, Bama
It's
probably doesn't.
yeah, it's getting real iffy. You need a lot of things to happen with these two lost teams.
I would say
Uh,
those top three.
yeah, because I mean, Tennessee might have a second loss here after this weekend. Good
True.
shot. A&M, they play each other, so one of these two is gonna have a second loss. So there might only be one lost team, like one lost team, and then the other team's a two lost team, very likely. Yeah, I
So
don't. The SEC is just massacring themselves.
it's a weird year in the SEC. It's not as dominant as it's usually is, and I think maybe there's some really good teams in there, but they're all taking each other out this season.
Yeah, they
Uh,
got Ohio State at 5, Penn State 6. Guess you can kind of interchange those however you want.
yeah,
Indiana at 7. Somehow you have an undefeated Indiana, same conference behind a one-loss Ohio State and one-loss Penn State. Yeah, I get Indiana hasn't doesn't have that marquee win, but they still are undefeated.
yeah.
I
I
would
mean, when
put
I was looking at I think their actual ranking is 5 right
yes, I
now.
think so.
Their technical ranking, so I like that. That's pretty high for Indiana. I don't know if
Yeah,
they've ever been that high. This is the first time.
they've
10 and
never
0.
been 10-0.
It's cool. I think they're a real good team. I
They're a
mean,
good team. Yeah,
Michigan is a good defense. Not a
yeah.
great offense, but a good defense, and they pulled it out against a pretty good defense. They were able to score, I think, 20 something points
It
on
was
them.
20 to 15, I think.
Yeah, so I mean, they scored 20 on them, and that's a really tough defense to play. So I think they're the real deal. I think they have a shot. I think they're pretty much locked for the playoffs because most likely scenario is they lose to Ohio State.
That's what
They
everybody's saying. They're gonna lose to Ohio State. They'll still make the playoffs.
Yeah, because they're not going to have to play in the Big Ten championship. So
Yeah.
as long as they don't get completely whooped,
But
and
if they
even
beat
even
Ohio
then, I still think
State
they're in
and make the Big Ten championship, they could still even lose that game.
and still get in. I think there's no way they don't make it.
They would have to I don't even know if it's possible if they lose to Ohio State and still make it in the Big Ten game. I don't think that's possible
I think
because
they would have to
or
rematch
you
Ohio
would need
State
Oregon to
again.
lose.
Yeah,
I don't think it's possible, but yeah, I think Indiana's definitely a lock. They're making it. Penn State's in that same boat with the one loss, not making the Big
yeah,
Ten game.
they're
They're
probably
getting
going to get in.
so it's probably gonna be Ohio State, Oregon, the Big Ten game. Got Tennessee at 8. They could completely drop out this coming weekend.
Yeah, same for Notre Dame if they drop another game to
They
Army.
play Army this week, right?
I think so. If they drop that game to Army, I think they're probably out.
Yeah,
Northern
100%.
Illinois, with the Northern Illinois loss, it's probably the worst loss of any. It definitely is the worst loss of anybody
I
on this
don't
list.
I don't think they got anything left on their schedule to bump them back up in there.
No, I mean, no, they just got USC like the last week, and USC's ass, so that doesn't
Yeah.
help them very much.
Bam at
Yeah,
10. Cool with it. Ole Miss at 11. Sure. Boise State at 12. I
it's
think the only
crazy. It's
team
no
that's kind
Georgia.
of on the edge right there, there's no Georgia, there's no SMU, and there's no Army. Or yeah,
I think SMU and Army like when we get to ours, I think they should both be in.
yeah.
Um,
Georgia, you can. I think you could put those other two over Georgia. Um, Ole Miss is only in there just because they beat Georgia this past weekend, and then same with
yeah,
Alabama. They just because they beat LSU probably so bad makes them look really good.
it's insane, you know. Bama, Ole Miss, Georgia, all pretty much one loss away from being completely knocked out. It's kind of a beautiful
Yeah,
thing to see. We might have
really is.
no Bama, no Georgia in a 12-team playoff. It's a strong possibility because, you know, Alabama, they still got the Iron Bowl. That's not like Auburn's not good, but this isn't the best Alabama team in the world either.
Yeah, they got a good shot to win out.
Yeah, I mean they got a good shot. I would say they're at home for the Iron Bowl. That does help their case.
Georgia
Um,
has out of those two teams, they have the tougher game against Tennessee.
I wouldn't count Georgia Tech out after we just saw from
I wouldn't
them.
either. Ole Miss is pretty
Yeah,
much guaranteed.
they're probably
But
locked.
Tennessee, if they can beat
If
Georgia,
they
I mean
beat
they got
Georgia,
Vandy. It's
Vandy
gonna be
could knock
tough.
them off.
Then AM's got Auburn and Texas. Both
Not the
losable.
not the easiest road. What does Texas got left on the season? Can
Those are actually
Arkansas
all
get?
three
Those are
toughish games.
tough. I would
Two
say
of them on the road.
Arkansas at Arkansas is a tough game. We saw what happened to Tennessee. Kentucky, you know,
Kentucky,
they're underrated.
that's a
They're
trap
not a
team.
great record, but
They almost
they
beat
beat Ole Miss.
Georgia. Yeah, they beat Ole Miss. Texas lost to Georgia. Kentucky almost beat Georgia. So Arkansas beat Tennessee. Um,
It's full possibility.
yeah. Then
They
A&M
could
on the
probably
road.
lose another game this season. Plus the SEC championship. So
They could be fine and lose one game and still be good.
yeah,
They could maybe even lose two. Oh
that
no,
yeah
because then they'd
they
have
just
three
be
losses.
they'd
No,
be towards the bottom. Like if they do get in with three losses, they're gonna be very at the bottom.
I keep forgetting they lost to Georgia.
Yeah, lost to Georgia.
Which like looking at Georgia lately and then thinking how bad they like handle Texas, it's like doesn't make sense.
It's it.
Doesn't make sense at all.
I'm kind of starting to think, and yes, part of this is me being a hater. I'm starting to think Texas isn't that good.
They might not be.
They almost lost to Vanderbilt. We just saw what happened to Vanderbilt. They lost to
Yeah.
Georgia pretty decisively, I would say. Other than that, they really hadn't played
I don't
anybody.
I don't think their offense is like that great. And Quinn Ewers
Yeah,
isn't playing like as
he's
as
been
well
okay,
as
but
you
not
would
great.
expect.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean he did throw like 5 touchdown passes this past weekend, but I don't even remember who they played.
yeah.
Mississippi
They're just
State maybe?
like they're still a question mark to me, and it's just weird to have a question mark team this late in the season.
Yeah, no, I agree with that for
But
sure.
that's what happens when your schedule is really not all that great.
They could absolutely lose the A&M on the last game. Who knows if they lose that game like that, they could be out. I don't know. It depends on how that bottom half is shaken out.
Yeah. And how decisive is the win?
True.
That matters too. You know, if A&M just whoops the shit out of them, they probably have no shot.
Sure.
Might open the door for A&M to get in. Who knows at this point? It's kind of chaos towards the bottom. It's kind of
Yeah.
the most chaos we've seen in a while, which I didn't think we would see with a 12 team.
There's a lot of teams that it's like fighting for those like last three spots. Like, I mean, you got the one lost Boise State sitting there, undefeated Army. It's like you kind of like those teams kind of need them to lose 'cause they're just I don't think they're gonna move up very far in the 12. So they're kind of gatekeeping right now. And then you got these other two lost teams sitting there. So you need them to lose another one. It's I don't know. It's interesting. It's very interesting. But we'll go ahead and get into yours since I went first last week.
All right. So, my top four, I'm doing it based on just who I think the conference champions are going to be. Oregon at one. Oregon to me has just been that one team that really looks dominant other than their first couple of weeks. Ever since then, they haven't struggled at all, really. Texas, I went with Texas number two. I just said they're a possible fraud, but they got one loss right now. I just don't know who else you would have at number two. Colorado, have them at number three. I think they're just on fire. I think they'll end up winning the Big 12. they just got to get through BYU. That's their big issue. And then I got
Yeah,
SMU at number 4. I think SMU should be ahead of Miami on the whole rankings and everything. I think SMU, they have the same quality win against Louisville. They beat them by the exact same margin by 7 points that
wow.
Miami beat Louisville by. Miami just lost to Georgia Tech, and they didn't look good at all that whole game, really. Like the score was like semi close, but if you were really watching the game, Georgia Tech dominated that entire game.
They did.
BYU, there are SMU's losses to BYU, who's undefeated. So why is Miami ahead of SMU right now? I
Doesn't make
get,
sense.
oh, maybe they're more talented and they got Cam Ward and this and that, but overall they just don't look like the better team. Number 5 got Indiana. Indiana had a really good win against Michigan this past weekend. Great defense. They haven't really struggled against the lower tier competitions. There hasn't been a game this year where I've watched Indiana and been like, ah, they might be a fraud. They've kind of just done what they've needed to do every single game this season, and I'm curious to see how well they play. I have Ohio State at 6. I don't really have much to say about Ohio State. They're just kind of your typical Ohio State team.
Yep.
One loss, just taking care of business.
Yep.
And it all comes down to the last week, like usual with Ohio State, or the last couple of weeks. We got Indiana second to last week, and then
Yeah.
Michigan, which I mean, I think they'll whoop Michigan, but it is a
I don't think
rivalry
it's gonna
game.
be close.
It is a rivalry game, so maybe I got Army at 7. That's kind of like maybe reaching a little bit, but their defense has been good.
They're undefeated.
Um, Undefeated. Bryson Daly had another really good game this
Still
past
cooking.
weekend. He's cooking. I think he's an underrated player. I think he should be in the Heisman conversation.
I love Bryson Daly.
I love Army. I love that team.
Yeah.
They're obviously that's the team I'm rooting for.
I think
Um,
if they can, well, obviously if they lose to Notre Dame, like they're out, like 100%. But if
yeah,
they can beat
true.
Notre Dame, I think they could, I don't want to say they can beat anybody, but like if they handle Notre Dame like semi well like that with that offense, I think they can give anybody in the 12 a run for their money.
That's what I'm saying. If they beat Notre Dame, that says quite a bit. Right now, nobody's talking about them, but if they beat Notre Dame,
Yeah.
I think that's how it's gonna go. Penn State at 8. Again, not much to say about Penn State. Just your
Normal Penn State.
typical Penn State team taking care of business. It's gonna come down to the end of the season. BYU. I like them, but they've struggled. They just show me signs of I don't know if they're gonna pull this off or not. This past weekend was one of those games that was a rivalry
Yeah.
game. Oklahoma State was a pretty close one. The US or UCF game wasn't quite as dominant as you would want it to be. I think they are a good team. I just don't know if they're like
I don't think they're
playoff
like, yeah.
caliber. Um,
Um, yeah.
yeah, I mean they're good. They're very good. Like this is probably like, maybe the best team they've ever had, but they're just not that big of a
Mhm.
school either.
True.
Notre Dame at 10. Again, typical Notre Dame. We're getting
One loss, squeaking
um
by.
yeah, random upset, squeaking by, having a few dominant performances here and there. Uh, they're gonna have to play Army, like we just said, and we'll see how they fare against them. If they beat Army, I think that's their last real test of the season. So they're pretty much guaranteed if they could just beat Army, beat USC. That is a rivalry game against USC. I just doubt they lose that game.
There's no way.
Um, Ole Miss at 11. They're trending up. They're starting to look like maybe they're a real team. They beat they beat Georgia. I thought they played really good throughout that whole game.
They
Defense
locked
is
Georgia
actually better
up.
than you'd think.
Yeah.
Lane Kiffin doing his thing. We'll see. We'll see how. I mean, I don't know. It's Ole Miss.
They do this all
It's
the
like Penn
time.
State. It's like Penn State. Like you don't know. Then I got Boise State at 12. They're kind of struggling a little bit. Like
They
as
are.
a team, like Genty's playing great, but as a team, I'm starting to not trust them like at all.
They're gonna squeak in and then they're probably gonna get
They're
blown
gonna get
out.
destroyed. Or
I mean,
I don't
depending on like who
know.
they get matched up against, like if they catch like I think Indiana would be probably their best bet.
Yeah,
Maybe Penn State if they could catch BYU somehow. Um, that's really their best bet because they're not beating Ole Miss, Ohio State. I don't think they beat Notre Dame. I don't think they'd beat Army, honestly.
And that's what I was just thinking that. I was like, let's say Army loses real close to Notre Dame. Like it's a close game. Like I would almost argue Army is like the more deserving team. Granted, Boise State only lost real close to
To
Oregon,
Oregon. But
but
if
they,
yeah, if
they've
they
had way
can
more close games to
since
other
like
teams too.
Hawaii and Nevada, but if you know they played the number one team in the country real close and they arguably had a shot to beat them. If they play like that, yeah, they could beat any of these teams, but they have to like play like that 4 games in a row.
Yeah, I think Army's just a more consistent team
Yeah,
than Boise State. Granted, Boise State I think has a little bit better competition. I think the Mountain West is better than the what is it, the American Athletic Conference or whatever the fuck that Army's in.
yeah, I agree.
No, who you got?
Uh, got Oregon one, obviously. I got
Yeah,
BYU two. Just pure fact that they're undefeated. The SEC and ACC teams aren't undefeated anymore. So Texas at three. I think they're better than SMU.
yeah,
SMU at four in the ACC spot. I like SMU a lot. I like them a lot. I'm super excited to see them play like a good team. If they, them and Clemson, if
yeah,
they can both limp into the ACC championship game, I'd like to see that matchup. That'd be cool. I got Indiana at five, just like you. I think we also have both have Ohio State at six. I have Penn State, I think one spot higher than you. You have them at eight.
yeah. I think so. Yeah,
Got them at seven. I got Tennessee in mine. I said at eight. They did beat um their only losses to Georgia, right?
Tennessee's only
Or is it
losses to
Arkansas?
Arkansas.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um, but other than that, they've handled their business. They got some decent wins in there. They beat A&M, so I think they did lose their quarterback this past weekend. So I don't know. I don't know what the injury was like, but if he's out and if their backup's not any good, Tennessee's cooked. Got Army at nine, Notre Dame at 10, just like you. I put Alabama in mine. Seems why you have Ole Miss.
yeah.
Um, they just blew LSU's fucking doors off. But Ole Miss kind of did the same thing to Georgia. Granted, the score wasn't as big as the
As
Alabama
as
LSU
crazy.
game, but
Yeah,
if you watch the Ole Miss game, they absolutely handled Georgia the whole game. And then Boise State at 12. So ours are pretty similar,
yeah.
couple of
Pretty
spot
much, I just left.
differences.
I left Tennessee and Bama off. I think that's our two major differences to me. Tennessee's a lot like Miami. Like,
Yeah,
like they had that game against Florida where it was like real close.
yeah, they've been having some close games.
I didn't even honestly like they should have whooped OU way more than they did. And it was like what 25-15. It wasn't super crazy. Obviously they had the loss to Arkansas. So I'm just the huge question mark. Obviously they're in the running for it. And Bama, we'll see how they play the rest of their season out. Uh,
Yeah,
I think they looked great against Missouri. They looked great against LSU. We'll
I
see if
just need to
they
play
finish
like
it.
that every
Yeah,
game. So
it's the best they've looked. Like this 2 week stretch is the best they've looked this entire season so far.
yeah, losing to Vandy is crazy. Like looking back at it, how they played compared to this, you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, and I mean
And then
Vandy's starting to they're turning down. After
yeah,
the
then
whole
they
season they were like
they
going
almost lose to
up.
South Carolina. South Carolina handles Vandy well, so it's like South Carolina arguably could have beat Alabama. That was like
They
you'll
gave
get
the
no.
game away. They
They
got an
did, they
onside
did,
kick. They got an onside kick.
they
That
did
never
give the game
happens. You
away,
never recover an onside kick. And they recovered it.
and then they fucked it up. Um, so yeah, South Carolina could have won that game. So it's I don't know all these like back and forths with like matchups, like this team beat this team, so they could beat this team. It's like it kind of makes sense with the SEC's case. Um, the Arkansas loss is weird, and then Kentucky beating Ole Miss is slightly weird as well. But I don't know.
There's been some upsets this year. There's been
It's
quite a
been a
few.
lot, a lot.
There's not really like a
It's almost every weekend there's at least one.
like nobody's safe this year. Even
Oh,
Oregon, as good as they've looked, they didn't look good against Idaho the first week. It was like 24-14 or some stupid shit like
yep, they
that.
struggled against them. Boise State, Ohio State played them close, so it's like they're beatable.
Yeah, as
They're
good as
really
they've been,
good.
they've looked beatable. Nobody looks unbeatable to me.
Yep.
Even the undefeated teams, like man, they look like they could get beat.
And
Like,
one injury ruins all any of these teams. Like
oh
you
yeah,
lose your
facts.
quarterback, you're done. That's I mean, maybe outside of Texas, I think Arch Manning's decent enough
Yeah,
to steer
true.
the offense. I don't say like lead the team, but he's gotten some playing time. I don't know who Oregon's backup is. I don't know who any of the other
Malachi
teams.
Nelson, not Malachi Nelson. Dante Moore.
I've
Um,
seen Penn State's backup. That dude is cooking, so I think he could be okay. Actually, I think he might be better than Drew Aller. No idea who Iowa State has. They have that freshman, Aaron Noland. Is that the backup?
I don't remember. I remember who they have.
I have no idea who Bama, Notre Dame's got. So I guess we might
Yeah.
even see who Tennessee's got. It,
Speaking of backups, do you think maybe it's getting to the point where Georgia needs to pull the plug on Carson Beck and maybe try something else? Because he's been a turnover machine this season so far.
um, nah, I don't think I don't think they would do him like that. He's he's got to try to climb his way to this hole he's put himself in for his
Yeah.
draft stock, and he is good. I just don't know what the fuck he's doing. He's just not locked in. I don't know. He
He just
doesn't.
looks like he doesn't care. Like that's
Yeah,
how it
exactly.
looks.
He's got that Jay Cutler vibe. He's just like fuck it. Um, I mean, if they do, get up like a sizable margin in these next 3 games on these teams, I would start putting the backup in to at least see what you got. If that
Hey,
dude's gonna be who's gonna be your starter next year, you want to try to get him some reps. More than likely, I think they could probably go after transfer. I don't
true.
know who the backup is. I don't know if he's any good, but they probably go for a transfer.
Because I mean, George is used to like a certain standard, and I think they said this is the first time since like 2014 that Georgia is not in the top 12 or some shit,
Yeah, I don't even
or
think
not in
like
the
the
top
rest of
10.
the offense is like that great. It's not like just him. I mean,
Yeah, there's
ETN's
not a lot of
really good.
weapons.
That's like
Yeah.
their best player. Um, the rest of the offense is just kind of okay. The offensive line's not super great. Um, yeah, Ole Miss like that. They was getting cooked by the defensive line of Ole Miss. Absolutely massacred.
Yeah, and Georgia's defense is like it's some days it shows up and it's like,
Yeah.
oh, this is like the best defense in the country, but then you see him against Ole Miss and like there's that drive where Jackson Dart got hurt and then Ole Miss's backup cooks Georgia defense for a touchdown.
Oh yeah, I forgot
Drives
about
them
him.
all the way down the field.
That guy looked good. He looked nice, and
He's
he's a
probably
lefty too.
he's getting a shot somewhere probably after that. I feel like that was
Well,
decent
Jackson
enough.
Dart, I imagine, probably leaves this year.
Oh, that
Isn't he
is true.
senior?
Yeah, I think he might be.
I think if he's not, I think he's going. I think he's got enough draft stock to maybe go in like the second or third round.
Yeah.
I mean, he's
Maybe
over
not
Carson Beck
risky.
at this
Yeah.
point.
Carson Beck's just having a weird year. Like it's just
He's
Georgia
playing.
fans are losing their mind. They like,
I'd be
oh, we've
so
lost 2 games. Like
I'd be so fucking mad. I'd be calling for him to be benched if I was a Georgia fan.
I
But
think
like,
that's
isn't
where the Georgia fans are mentally right now.
yeah.
I think
But as an
they're
outsider, I'm like, you kind of can't like, it, you can't do him like that
true.
after everything he's given you. Like, come on now, it's no,
It's
you can't.
but you're when you're in Georgia and you have this like standard.
In their dynasty mode that they're in.
Like I think maybe if they lose one more,
Yeah, okay,
they might
then
be like
yeah, sure.
they might be like, we're not in the playoffs. We might as well just start getting our guy ready for next season. See what we got in our backup. See if we need
I
to hit the
mean,
transfer portal.
or next week if Beck's throwing 2, 3 interceptions again, which is I think he's averaging like 2 a game. Okay, then maybe pull him. Like
It's not
it's
just that he's
crazy.
throwing interceptions. Some of these
They're just
interceptions are
bad
bad.
decisions.
They're just like terrible. Like, what are you doing?
You double covered, and you're like, he's just trying to force it in there. And then he makes some like crazy throws, like some really good throws,
No,
and you're like,
he's got a great arm.
yeah, he's a good quarterback. He's definitely, and I don't know. I think I mentioned this like a couple of weeks ago, I think, like him potentially intentionally tanking his draft stock to not go to a shitty team to just be a backup and learn and not have to start year one. Very, it's starting to look semi-probable. I don't know
Well, looking at him,
because he
it's
knows
almost
he's gonna get drafted, 100%.
yeah. He's honestly, even if he, I feel like he could still work his way back into like the bottom end of the first round, like through the
Oh,
combine, pro
I think
days.
Mel Kiper, I think has him as like QB6. Um,
Yeah,
I don't know who the fuck would be ahead of that. Like Cam Ward,
Shador, Cam
Shador,
Ward, maybe Jackson Dart,
Dylan
um,
Gabriel.
Dylan Gabriel,
There's four.
Quinn Ewers, maybe.
Yep, Quinn Ewers.
That's
Five.
probably it. Yeah,
Yeah, it makes sense. But I don't know. We'll see.
weird time.
Game of the week.
I went with same yeah, BYU Utah.
This game was crazy. Utah started a new quarterback this week. This Rose kid. He looked good. I was like, they can't stop this guy. That BYU like could do nothing in the first half. Absolutely nothing.
It looked like they're gonna lose.
They was down 21-10. I was like, this game's over. Like they just couldn't do shit. The offense couldn't get going. This is probably one of like the worst coach games I've ever seen. BYU like that. I don't know what the fuck they were doing. Like they was just in the huddle to like the 10-second mark and would try to like hurry out to the line, getting false starts, delay of games. Like it was just shooting themselves in the foot the whole game. The whole game. I was like this. I was like, what the fuck are you guys doing? It was crazy. It was like the game was like almost too big for the coaching staff. So like seeing that, but then Utah is they had like a record sellout crowd for this game,
Yeah.
which is crazy. Um, I I don't know. It's just a tough place to play. So maybe you could chalk it up to that. But then like you think of like BYU having to go in to play like Ohio State on the road or going up to Oregon, something like that. Like that'd be way worse than this. So if they can't handle this, yeah, it is a rivalry game. It fucking means way more to Utah to win this game, I think, than for BYU.
Well, I mean,
So
when you're having a down year like Utah's been having, that's all that we're really playing for at this point is like trying to
yeah,
knock off your rivals. That would have been a huge win for them because that probably knocks BYU out of the playoff picture unless they win the Big 12.
yeah.
So, I mean, it is.
The end of the game was crazy. Um, that last drive, they was down like on their own goal line. Almost got a safety. Turns out to be like a face mask or some shit. And then they get bailed out. Like I don't want to say the refs like bailed them out, but like I think Utah like bailed them out with just bad decisions. And a lot of people blaming the refs. Like they should have never even got to that point. Like you guys have
Yeah.
Like you let them come back, so that's you
Like
can't blame the
unless
refs
the
for all that.
refs make like just a blatantly god awful call, it's really your fault if it came down to the
Yeah.
refs.
I don't remember anything being like just blatantly that bad. Um, yeah, I don't know. I mean, and then when they ran that kickoff back, I was like, oh, momentum shifted back to BYU because they could do nothing. And then I was like, okay, they're good, they're back. And then nope, Utah was just on fire on offense. They couldn't be stopped. And the BYU's offense was just abysmal, so bad. I don't know.
I
It was
don't
a great game
really.
though.
It's just another game that like makes me like I don't love what I see from BYU.
Exactly.
But it was a rivalry game. We'll give them a
It
little.
was a
And
good one.
this was you could look at it on like glass half full. Like this was a tough win. They overcame like a deficit.
True.
Um,
True.
but yeah, I thought this
Adversity.
was this like just like looking at. I didn't actually watch this game as it was happening, but just like going through the games and stuff. This looked like the better one to me. Out
The
of
shit was like 1 in the morning when this game finished.
yeah, I was probably asleep.
I was like, God, fuck, just please somebody lose. And I was like, and then that last drive, it just kept like going, like penalties and like it's just all over the place. It's like, fuck, man. Um, yeah, that's a crazy swing. Absolutely crazy. Pretty even overall. I mean, the turnover is like, that's crazy. BYU should have won by way more.
Yeah. Um, Equal time of possession. That's cool. Um, Weird performance from BYU's quarterback, like almost
I
throwing
think
50%.
yeah, absolutely. I think Utah's got a lot to look forward to. I like this kid a lot. He played really good.
Is he a freshman?
Um,
Probably is.
Sophomore,
Sophomore.
but I think he's been on the team for a little while.
And
Never
that's
never started.
it's probably the guy they're rolling with next year, maybe if he keeps playing decent down the stretch. I
I mean,
doubt Cam Rising gets another medical red shirt.
I think he potentially can. I think he's eligible.
That's crazy.
But brother, you gotta hang it up. Oh my God. Obviously, you can't come back to Utah. Like he's got to
He's
transfer.
got to transfer. Like they have to move on.
Dude, he's been just ruining them for like 2 years.
Just getting hurt, worst times. I wonder where he would go. Honestly, like I'll take him, but fuck,
Fuck, I don't know, man.
I don't think he's gonna stay healthy though.
It
So maybe
doesn't seem like
not.
he can. So, best
He's going to
performance
Notre
by.
Dame actually.
Oh yeah, the new fucking Sam Hartman.
Yeah.
They like the long hair look, you know? They're like, oh, it's double down on that. Best performance, I'm with Alabama, going into Death Valley and absolutely shitting on LSU. I seen a clip, because after it got to like, I don't know, like the two, like, might have been in between these two scores. I was like, all right, this game's over. I don't remember what else was on this time. I switched over and, but like the last drive, like when it might be this one. Or it could be before this. Anyways, LSU's down in like the red zone and they still have their starters in and like Alabama's like blitzing. And then like Brian Kelly's all pissed off. Like, what are you gonna like? We're not gonna let you score. I don't know. I thought it was funny. Like, why the fuck you got your starters in down 42-6? Like that doesn't make sense.
He's just it's his ego. He's just gotta get more of a get
I
make
hate
it look a little bit better. But I mean, it still looks horrible. So why even risk your starters at that point?
I hate Brian Kelly.
He's an idiot.
You think this puts him on the hot seat? I have him like infinitely on the hot seat for me. He lives there.
I think he's in a very similar situation to Mike Norvell,
I don't know
Jimbo
what his
Fisher last year, because I think he has a huge buyout where you can't
does
fire
he?
him.
That
I think
sucks.
it's a huge contract, so it's gonna be tough to get rid of him. I think he's gonna be like the James Franklin of the SEC. Like
Hanging
decent
around that
teams,
two
but
loss range.
they're not gonna be able to make the playoffs or make a real run for it.
Be the new
And
Ole Miss.
do just enough to not get fired.
Probably, yeah.
He's so performative and fake. I don't know. I just can't stand the guy. He had like his fake Louisiana accent was stupid. I think he's from like Ohio or some stupid shit like that.
I don't like anything about Brian Kelly. I don't even like the way he looks.
That
His stance whack.
was me talking about Jackson Arnold the other night.
No, I like seen you post that video. I was like, there's no fucking way. The game had just ended. And I was like, no way. I haven't watched it yet. I'll probably watch it tonight.
I was so fucking mad. It's
It's
just
so funny.
hilarious. My best
Um,
performance, I went with Georgia Tech. I thought they played really good against Miami. They were just Tech
mm,
just out coached Mario Cristobal. I don't remember their coach's name, but they dominated the time. Like they had like a 12-minute quarter or something crazy like that.
yeah, they did.
Like it was like the maybe the end of the first, early second quarter. It was a very long drive. Let's see,
10 minutes.
10 minutes and 45
That's
seconds.
almost the whole quarter.
Almost an entire quarter of football.
Just running it.
That won them the game in my opinion because I think we talked about this last week that the blueprint for success against Miami is to
Hold the
keep the
ball.
ball out of Cam Ward's hands. And that's exactly what they did. And he still had a decent game, Cam Ward did.
Yeah, he did.
Um, but they kept it and they kept him from having like a 400-yard game that he's kind of we've seen from him this year. And I thought
This
they
is
got good
entirely
pressure
the
on him.
this is entirely on the defense. This not Cam Ward's fault at all. I mean, granted, he had the fumble to like end the game, but like what do you he's just trying to make a play, so I don't think that's entirely on him. He's just doing what he's been doing all year. So it's 100% on the defense. They was giving up like 4 yards a carry to like the quarterback. Um, let alone the running back. They had two quarterbacks in there at the same time doing the read option. I was like, what the fuck are they
Yeah,
doing?
no,
It was crazy.
that was an interesting there was a point in this game where I thought Miami was gonna win. And it was when that Philo dude threw that pass, and I think the dude dropped it for like a first down. They had to punt it back to
I
Miami,
think yeah.
and I was like, "Damn, they're really about to blow this
Was
game."
that when Miami came down and scored?
Yeah, yeah, I think so.
Maybe right in here.
It gave them like it was like when they first got like a sign of life,
Yep.
and I was like, "Damn, this
Yep.
might not end very well." And then, Georgia Tech did a great job just keeping the ball away from, like, they had to convert like a lot of third downs, I feel like, or
Yep.
long second down. Like they were just hitting them with screen passes. You didn't really know what they were gonna run. Like I had no idea what Georgia Tech was gonna do half the time. They're
It
switching
was
QBs.
9 for 14 on third down. That's fucking crazy.
Like they had to be
Averaging
in third
five
down
point
situations.
5.6 yards per rush.
Insane.
And then their third downs, like they weren't even really trying to throw the ball well. Like they had 16 passing attempts.
Yeah, I mean,
Aver-
because they had to like take
They had to
things to
switch to
third down.
yeah, and then they'd bring in their freshman quarterback to throw the ball. I don't know what that was about. I don't know if they just don't trust Haynes King to throw, or maybe I don't
He's their
know.
top rusher. He's
But that Philo kid looked decent. He was throwing the ball well. I mean, he's 50%, but like the throws he did make were
he was making
solid.
some decent throws.
And he's
Um,
quick too. Like, I don't know.
yeah, I think he's quick. Hunter King is that or Haynes King, not Hunter
I
King.
was like, wait, what?
Haynes King. I'm just looking at the H. I don't know why I thought Hunter. Haynes King. He rushed really well.
Didn't
Um,
Haynes King play at fucking Miami?
I think he played at A&M
That's maybe what I'm thinking.
because yeah, he was at A&M before he came to Georgia
Why is
Tech.
it? Yeah, okay. I don't know why I thought it was Miami. No idea why I thought that.
Yeah, I thought it was a great performance. It was good to see Miami lose. I just haven't really liked them this year.
Been waiting on
Um,
this game all year. It's been coming. Every week they've been struggling.
And this just confirmed, I think, what we already knew about Miami is that they're
They just
good, but they're
you have to
not great.
outscore. You have to outscore whoever you play. In this game they didn't,
And they got exposed and their weaknesses got spotlighted. And now
yeah,
every team knows the blueprint to how to beat Miami.
for sure. Love to see it. I love this game. This was a great game.
The,
So fun to watch. Play of the week. I went with Jalen Milroe. Man had 185 rushing yards, 4 tutties, threw for 109, no turnovers. Absolutely massacred LSU by himself. Yeah, this was all him. All of it. It was all him. And then the defense stepping up too, I suppose, but it was crazy.
feel bad for Milrow. Like the season isn't all what it could have been. But maybe they
They
make the
still have a
playoffs.
shot.
They still have
Yeah,
a
they
shot at
still
the
have a shot.
playoffs. He's been good. He's such a great runner.
He
Um,
is.
he's a threat. Yeah, I didn't really get to watch this game. I think this was happening at the same time as I was watching OU. So I was
Yeah, probably.
not watching this one. Then I saw the score and I just saw it was a beat down. Yeah, this is a crazy result. I thought it was gonna be like an overtime type game, like the one last year, the year before.
And then he was just like running it in, like 72-yard run, 19 yards, 39 yards. He was just eating them up. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Who's your play of the week?
I went with Ashton Genty. Had a good three touchdown game. 200 yards, I think, 200 something yards, three
Yeah,
touchdowns.
I thought about going with him. 209,
He
three
won the
touchdowns.
game for him, like he always does.
Man, their fucking
He's the
quarterback
guy.
almost lost them this game. He threw that one pick. It was just a fucking just down the middle of the field, just no to nobody interception. I was like, what the fuck? And then he did it again, and I think it was like a penalty or the dude dropped it. It was I don't remember. It was somehow didn't count. Like the same exact throw. I'm like, who the fuck are you throwing it to? The dude's 9 for 20. I was like, what the fuck is happening? Man, he played terrible. So just based off that performance, I was like, yeah, Boise State's gonna be in trouble. They almost lost this game, but
Yeah.
Genty's a menace.
He's like
He's a
he's
fucking
really the only positive thing you could say about this team, like after this, because Nevada sucks.
yeah, they're not
Nevada's a
good.
very, very bad team. So it shouldn't have been like this. He
Well,
saves the day again.
and the fact that like they couldn't throw the ball very well, like that's why Ginty had to carry the ball so much. He's got 34 carries because they couldn't throw it, and they was stacking up the box. So like there was so many runs, he was just not even getting past the line. So I mean, there's nothing you can really do, and as soon as you get the ball, you got four people in your face. Um, Last he still got 209 and three touchdowns, and this is kind of what he's. I think we said he's got to average like 250 a game to break the record. It's
Yeah,
close. I mean, after seeing this and seeing how they played, I don't know if he's gonna do it. So I don't think these teams are any good. San Jose say it's 6-3, decent. They could lose this game actually.
yeah. I wouldn't be surprised. Wyoming, I think they're bad this
I
year.
mean, dog shit. He should put up about 400 on them, and Oregon State's not great.
So I
But
mean, I say like fuck sitting them in the fucking second half. I would just run them
if he wants to play, let him get out there. It's his fucking body, you know? His body,
because I
his
mean,
choice.
Boise State's also got to be like realistic. Y'all know you're not gonna win if when you get in the playoffs. Let the man get his Heisman. Like just let him
Yeah.
get his Heisman.
I think he's still in the lead. He's cooking.
I saw this comment the other day and it was like Genty should win it, but they're not gonna give it to him.
Probably not. Like I could see them somehow giving it to Travis Hunter. Uh,
He's the favorite. Like people really think he
Somehow.
should win. I don't see it at all. I
They're
think
just
he's a very good
valuing his
player.
fucking snap count.
Yeah, and I
It's,
mean that's all good, but I don't know if that qualifies a Heisman. Like I think he's like, I have him in my top five, but like at the bottom,
is he
like
playing
I
as
don't
good
think
as
he's that
Charles
good.
Woodson did when he won the Heisman?
I don't think so because I think Charles Woodson was he also returning
I think
shit
so.
too?
Yeah.
Which
I do
I mean
forget,
Hunter might be returning shit too. I don't know. Well, and he's a receiver. I don't know. It's tough 'cause he's also
but
a
like,
receiver.
I don't see it. Like, yeah, he's very good. But
I
he's
think if
not
he was because I think if he was doing what he's doing on offense, like equally on defense, like if he had like five,
he
six
needs
interceptions or
interceptions.
something, like it would be way more arguable.
Yeah. Or forcing turnovers or something. And I don't know. I don't really get to watch the game, so I don't know what the fuck he's doing, but on his stats, he ain't got no interception, so I don't how you gonna fake that one?
Yeah, I mean he's having a decent year receiving, but it's not like earth shattering. It's not like a Devontae Smith
No.
type year. He's probably not even the best receiver in college football right now. I'd probably say Jeremiah Smith is.
Show us
So
find out.
because I bet Jeremiah Smith's probably leading in touchdowns. Let's see, rushing, receiving,
Ain't even top five.
not even top five.
Or top five in interceptions.
So he's not a top five corner or a top five receiver. Let's see, he's okay, 12's good though. I mean that's fair. Um
He's 1 yard behind this guy. But then he's not too far off from being top five, like 100 yards ish.
yeah.
But
Yeah, once you hit Restrepo, it looks like it kind of separates a little bit. Let's see, defensive. He's not even on the list. He's not top 22.
does he even have any interceptions?
I don't think he
I think he's
does.
got some,
Maybe one. Maybe one.
but
He's got a forced fumble. I think he has a forced fumble and two interceptions, if I remember correctly.
I don't know. I got him fucking somewhere up here. So
Which I mean, fair enough. Like,
it's not
I just don't
enough.
think he's
Oh,
the number one guy.
no. Most disappointing performance. I have the entire Florida State team. The entire team. Where the fuck are
Uh,
we at? I honestly I didn't even really watch much of this game. I was like, there's no fucking point. I watched a little bit like at the game when it started. And then like I was like, oh, we scored. We got points. 7-3. I was like, this is decent. And then like Notre Dame's offense wasn't like absolutely cooking us. I mean, Riley Leonard was, but they wasn't like absolutely just blowing us out. So I was like, oh, this game might be like we can maybe score. Fuck no, we didn't do shit. This game's so bad. We suck so bad. 5 for 18, 51 yards, 2 interceptions. At least we ran the ball semi well, I guess. But Luke 5 for 8, 37. It's not good. This is the worst team I've ever seen.
Yeah, this
I
is a
think
big
there's high school
letdown.
teams out there that would beat this team. Not even joking. Like
It's a
high
bad
school
team.
teams. I've seen Ponca City play better than this team. It's bad. It's so
Do you
bad.
think you guys beat that FCS team? Like, do you
No.
think there's a shot you guys lose it?
Oh, I think yeah. There's. Oh, you talking about the one we play this coming week?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I
There's
don't remember who
absolutely
they are.
Charleston Southern, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
100%. Yeah. Anybody can beat this team. There's plenty of FCS teams that could probably beat
Did you
this
hear
team.
the good news for Florida State?
What?
DJ's coming back, or he's trying to come back.
To be fair,
He'd
there's
probably
nothing
be
he could
he's the
have
best
done.
option. Like,
There's nothing he could have done. That's the offensive line's abysmal.
honestly, I'm actually gonna give DJ a pass
Oh yeah, me too.
because
After
after
seeing
seeing the way it played out,
yeah.
he could probably do he'd do a lot better with a better team around him.
But I mean, honestly, like looking at it, like if we can't get an O line, I just like, yo, dog, you should probably just transfer. You don't want to be here. Like
Yeah,
you're not gonna be successful. The line is bad.
go back to Oregon State or something. Like,
You could go anywhere that has every school in the fucking country has a better offensive line than we do. Every single one of them. Uh yeah, it's fucking crazy. This team's bad. So bad. The defense absolutely got cooked. Granted, they were on the field the whole game, so I don't know how. I don't even know how we have 33 minutes of possession. No fucking idea. We was getting scored on by backups. This is
yeah,
the Georgia game from the bowl game. This is the exact same game, like the exact same game.
I was looking at the
It's
it's like the
crazy.
score, and I don't know, man. This team is like
I'm convinced this team has never practiced before. Like never. Like
this team's horrible. Like, this is a real like it's like this is a really bad team. Like, I've never seen a school the size of Florida State have this bad. Like, this is like a top 15, top 20 program of all time having a 1-9
this looks
season.
like a team where you just went out and like you just see somebody and you're like, oh, that guy's an athlete. I bet he could play football. Hey, come play receiver. And we did that with the entire team. And then they've never practiced together. You just
Yeah.
have a team full of like people that are athletes and you think they can play football. And then when they get on the field, they're like, what are we doing? It's
I
crazy,
just don't
crazy work.
I don't get it. Cause like there's just no way y'all you didn't have some freshmen better at O line that you could have thrown in. Like, some freshmen or see at this point you might as well just start all the freshmen you have. Like, there's just no way y'all recruited that badly. Like, I bet you
That's
your
what I
guys'
said.
recruiting class and transfers, they're probably highly rated, and it was probably just bad evaluations on scouting.
On all of them.
That has to be it. The scouting department needs to get fired. I can't believe y'all cleared out the I can't believe it, but like, y'all cleared out the whole staff except for Mike Norvell.
Yeah, defensive coordinator's gone, offensive coordinator's gone. Oh, O-line slash co-offensive coordinator because Norvell's
And he
the
was like
primary.
before this year, was it Alex Atkins?
He was the like best assistant coach in college football,
He
I
was
think.
looking at like a
Was it the
head
Broyles
coaching
Award?
job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's fired. Wide receiver coach fired. Randy Shannon's the interim defensive coordinator. I think he's gonna be fired because there's somebody that has to coach the defense. Yeah, he's gonna be fired. Um, he's also the linebacking coach, so there'll be a vacancy there. But basically, he's getting fired twice. Good. Who else needs special teams coordinator needs a raise. Shit, put that dude as offensive coordinator. I don't know. Maybe he's got something, but yeah.
That's kind of exciting though, looking for an offensive coordinator and a
I get,
defensive coordinator.
a word on the street is we have overwhelmingly interest in all of the spots, even from the NFL level. So, I don't know how accurate that is because we have no idea who the fuck is inquiring. I guess the spots are already like kind of filled. I don't think they're gonna. He was saying Norvell was saying he doesn't want to announce them till like the end of the season because if they
So
are on
he's pretty much has it though.
I think they're pretty much locked in. He doesn't want like say they're on like a playoff team. He doesn't want them to like or the team to like play different because he's gonna be their coach is leaving or whatever the case may be, their coordinator. So I think he's just given the whatever programs or teams they're coming from some respect, which is cool, I guess. But the transfer portal opens up here soon, so gotta get something going. And all of our we still keep having players decommit. It's bad. We just had a quarterback decommit today. We have no receivers in our 2026 class. Zero.
It's rough out here. I
We're
think,
gonna
once you get like offensive coordinator is going to bring in some transfers, defense coordinator is going to bring in some transfers
for sure.
that they know could play.
People they've recruited that were coming to the team that they were on.
So I mean, if you could kind of rebuild the roster that way with your new coordinators, Mike Norvell's already proven like he can coach when he has
They just can't
the right
develop.
pieces. I think he's not. Yeah, I don't think he's a great developer or
And that's been proven.
talent evaluator either.
Yeah. So hopefully whoever they bring in, offensive coordinator can develop. Shit, I think we need a QB coach. Because these two on the team, they're not it. Um, yeah. I don't know. I really want UNLV's offensive coordinator. We was talking about that yesterday.
And that's who I want.
I think
But
he's
that
like
dude's crazy.
I think he's a hot commodity.
I think he's a
That
genius.
but
I think
offense
he's
is
a true
nuts
genius. I think he's the only guy I've heard of in a long time making up his own offense.
and like cooking with it. So I don't really know much about him. I don't know like where he's from. I don't know if he's got ties to schools.
I think his biggest tie is the Texas. That's kind of
Uh,
where he started. I think he played somewhere different. Like he played receiver
But do you pass
somewhere.
up a head coaching or like a potential head coach job to go call the offense at Texas if they do offer it? Or I don't know, because I'm sure somebody's gonna offer him a head coach job, but does he want to like be a head coach at a smaller school or go be an OC at
A big school.
take another step up,
Because I
like
mean,
come to
if you're an
OU?
OC at a big school, have one good year, you're gonna be head coach at another big school probably right after.
Probably, yeah. Well, look at
If
fucking
you,
Marcus Freeman.
yeah, I like the guy. I hope he goes to either OU or FSU if he's gonna go anywhere.
Shit, we both need him, so
Yeah,
god damn. Yeah, we suck. We suck so bad. Like I said, I didn't even watch 3 quarters of this game because I was like, okay, there's nothing new going on here. Same old shit. We're getting blown out, so I'd rather watch some good games. But yeah, I don't know. There's nothing new to say. There's nothing new to say. We suck.
ridiculous.
Worst team in potential history of college football.
Maybe
This
like
team looks like we've been given the death penalty. Like that's exactly
yeah,
like. Oh my God. Yeah, and then next
it's
year
bad.
it's gonna be an all new transfer portal team. Like if we all of our recruits are decommitting, it's all gonna be transfers again.
Just hopefully the new OCs and DC, the
Oh,
OC and DC bring in the guys.
we got a commit from 2 3-star defensive ends that are like brothers. They play on the same team. They actually look really good. So, and then one of them's like, "Yeah, I'm starting as a freshman. I'm taking somebody's job." I'm like, "Hell yeah, it's yours, Chief.
At this point, go
Please,
ahead, man.
you be better than anybody we got." Yeah, that's all I got for disappointing player of the week. Players, team.
Yeah, defense or worst team we've already talked about. I went with LSU, so we don't have to harp too much on that. Did I pick a def- worst player?
No,
I picked Eli Holstein. For Pitt. Pitt was supposed to be a really good team. He
yeah,
just had
I don't
like
know what the fuck happened to them.
an awful completion percentage. 10 for 13. 121 yards isn't terrible. It's not good. It's pretty
Ten
bad
for
actually.
23.
Yeah, 10 for 23, 43%. I think that's terrible. Um, Losing against Virginia just after you blew a big game when you were just undefeated just a couple weeks ago.
Got blown out by SMU.
Just
And then
sucks.
they lost at home.
They're bad. They're just a fraud the whole time.
Yeah, 100%. Um, I mean, they barely squeaked by Cal. Blew Syracuse out, which was semi-surprising, but
That game was kind of the one where I was like, oh, maybe they are good.
I was hoping it was good. I was like, cool. Yeah, I like Pitt.
Nothing wrong with Pitt. I like them
The
too, but yeah,
uniforms are dope. Look at those. Those are fire. That shit's gas.
it's clean uniforms. I think they play at the Steelers Stadium, which is
Yeah.
kind of cool.
So yeah, rough year for Pitt too. I don't know what happened. They got Clemson this week, so there's gonna be another loss.
Yep, probably pretty decisively. Yeah,
Yeah.
70% chance to win.
And then you got Louisville on the road. That's probably another loss. And then Boston College, it's on the road is also not a place you want to go. So they could have five straight losses at the end of the year, which is coach might be fired. Mm-mm-mm.
All right,
All right, Heisman top five.
all right. It's that time. Let's see.
I got
I
Bryson
got
Daly at
Bryson Day. Yeah,
five.
so I got it right now.
He did miss a week in between these two games, but he didn't really throw the ball much. This 15 yards is kind of nuts. He only threw the ball twice, but don't need to
He
when
he,
you
he rushed. Yeah,
153 yards. I don't know if maybe this was just a good defense. Didn't watch the game, so I don't know if North Texas or is that what it is?
yeah.
UNT North
North
Texas.
Texas.
I don't know if they're just shutting them down and then just kind of like slowly they was able to score. Um, I like Bryson Daly a lot. 14-3 is a little surprising. 41 minutes time of possession is fucking that's just them holding the ball the entire fucking game. Like
That's insane.
5 minute drive, 10 minute drives, ultimately punted. You only get 46 yards in 10 minutes.
10 minutes. That's ridiculous.
You just running the fucking clock out. 94 yards, 13 minutes.
It's
That's a
an
whole quarter.
entire quarter. They basically had two
Uh
drives that were almost entire quarters.
yeah, so I guess it makes sense why it's so low, but I don't know like why it was like they're just not getting just 3 yards at a time, 2 yards, 5 yards. Just
And then
purely
they're probably running the play clock down to like 40, like the whole entire 40
yeah.
seconds.
It's just kind of seeming like they wasn't getting any like big gains. They all had to be just short yardage, four plays to get your first down, and then eventually score. And North Texas's fucking quarterback ain't been on the field in 15 minutes, and it's like, well, gotta go
Yeah.
warm up again.
And I mean, they could do this time of possession against Notre Dame. I think they got a very good shot.
Yeah, they do. They do.
But yeah, Bryson Daly, I like him a lot. I think, he gets that win. He's probably sliding into like my top three.
Yeah, I don't see why not. Yeah, I like Bryson Daly a lot. He's a good dude.
Yeah, great player.
He's a tank. I got Cam Ward at four.
I have him at three. Um,
Um, I mean,
I'm just
stat
holding the
wise,
loss against him. Like,
yeah, exactly. Stat wise, he's number one for quarterbacks. Um, I think he's got better stats than Dylan Gabriel, but that's a fucking huge loss. It's not very excusable. Granted, it's not on him, but if you're fucking punishing Ginty for losing to Oregon, like this is on you. Why couldn't you go score another touchdown? So, and then, I don't want to say he struggled all year, but his team struggled all year. So it's kind of hard to like how much you want to put that loss against him or like have it impact his chances.
yeah,
But if he was, I know he was number one on some people's boards. It should drop him for sure. It
yeah.
has to. You can't just be like, oh yeah, you lose, but you're still good. When you got Ginty on pace to break Barry Sanders' record, Travis Hunter playing fucking 1,000 snaps a game or whatever the fuck he's doing, and then Dylan Gabriel just slicing people up.
Winning,
So
yeah.
beating Ohio State, but
I still
yeah,
think Cam Ward has a good shot at it.
no, he absolutely does.
Because I mean, we just saw Jaden Daniels last year. Um, they had three losses, I think,
Yeah,
and he won the Heisman.
but he was
So
going fucking stupid running the
true.
ball.
Cam Ward's not doing the same rushing.
He doesn't really run the ball that
I don't think
much.
he does. He kind of scrambles out of the pocket a
I
lot, but
don't
that's about
I don't know
it.
why he doesn't. He's pretty athletic. I don't know if he just doesn't want to get hurt, so he's just like, fuck it. Get out
Yeah.
of the pocket and then just throw it. No idea.
'Cause I feel like he was a little bit more mobile last year with Washington State.
That's
And
probably why he also had so many fumbles last year, because he
true.
runs really, really loose with the ball.
That's probably why he doesn't run now that you say that, because he can't take care of the ball.
They probably told him not to run, realistically. They was like, yo, don't do it. Just skip the pocket, throw it.
Yeah. We'll see where he ends up. I think he's got still very, very much in the hunt.
For sure. Who you got up for?
Travis Hunter. Um,
Yeah,
think
put
he's
him
having a good year.
number three.
I don't see him as the number one guy everybody else sees him as. When we looked up the stats, I mean he's 12th in the country in receiving. His defensive stats aren't looking super great, but he is playing a lot of snaps and he's a really talented player. I just don't think he's the Heisman, in my opinion.
Got 20
Yeah.
tackles,
Two interceptions, forced fumble, 20 tack. I mean, that's
7 pass
solid.
deflections.
That's solid. You could make
Yeah,
an argument. I just
it's
I
not
like
like, oh
when you
wow,
look at like Ashton Genty in the year he's having,
it's
or
not even
even
close.
yeah, I mean even
Cam
Dylan
Ward and
Gabriel.
Dylan Gabriel are on a way higher. It's not even fucking close.
So I mean,
If he wins, I'm just fucking I'm fucking done
I
with the
think he's
Heisman.
going to win.
It's
Honestly,
so stupid.
I really think he's going to win. Um,
Honestly, if he wasn't on Colorado, if he was just doing this on another team, he wouldn't even be up there.
oh yeah, like if he was on Illinois or
It's
something,
just the
yeah.
fucking hype of Colorado and Dion. That's all it is. I
Did
mean,
you
like
see
he's having a good year, but he shouldn't be number one.
you see Dion's going to make sure that Travis Hunter and Shador don't go to the wrong NFL team?
Yeah, I don't know how you
So
gonna do
I
it.
guess they're both gonna pull the Eli Manning and just I'm not going to this team. I kind of respect it.
Yeah, that could be a problem going forward.
Dion says he's not going to the NFL. I don't know if I believe him, but that's what he's saying right now.
I think the NFL should be like after this year, like, okay, you did that, you're not playing. You don't go to any team.
You could do that, yeah.
You got to go to fucking see in the CFL, bud. Like, just ban it. Like, you can't play NFL football if you decline your draft team. You can ask for a trade. You can not play your first year. You can say your whole fucking rookie contract. Sure, whatever. But you're not getting fucking drafted by anybody if you're just like, no, I'm not playing for that team. They got it, because this is just gonna happen down the road. Like, the other players are gonna be like, oh, the Browns
Yeah,
got their one pick. I'm the best quarterback. Oh, fuck that. So it's they gotta get ahead of that.
yeah. I think I don't know. It's tough because it's just happened. You know, it happened with John Elway, happened with Eli Manning. Like it's happened before,
It's just not a
and
big deal because it hasn't
yeah.
happened in so long. But now it's about to
Well,
happen in the same year with two players coming from the same
yeah.
team. It's just like, yeah, I don't know. It doesn't look great.
And players are just they're a little bit different nowadays, where they really want the control.
Yeah.
So that probably does open the door, especially if Dion can really arrange where they go to.
I mean, the players are already running fucking college football. They've already ruined college football.
Yeah.
So you see Colorado's offering this kid like $10 million to come play quarterback to replace Shador. I
Yeah,
think
that same kid got almost the exact same offer from Michigan. I think
is that
currently
the
he's
same
committed
guy?
to Georgia. Yeah, I think it's the same guy.
LSU, I think.
Or LSU. That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Colorado's been given like 20 mil for their budget.
Yeah.
Nuts.
Yeah. Michigan, yeah, Michigan offered that exact same dude the same contract basically, a little bit more maybe.
They fucking need it. They need it bad. They need it so bad.
That would they desperately need that. I think that'd make them a way better
Yeah.
team. Uh,
Assuming we both have Dylan Gabriel too.
yeah.
The only
Solid.
reason he's there is because Cam Ward lost. He's I don't know. Cam Ward's pushing almost 1,000 yards on him. He's got 600, double the passing touchdowns, not including rushing. One more interception, better QBR. Granted, he hasn't played the same. competition
Yeah.
level. He hasn't beat the same amount of team or the same type of teams. I will give Dylan Gabriel that. That's why he is right where here.
Yeah, and he is a better rusher. I think he has like 6 or 7 touchdowns rushing as well. So
Let's see. So he's got six.
so he's got 28.
He's got three. So he's got
He's got 35,
35.
35 to 28.
So he's still winning in every category except for interceptions and strength of schedule, I suppose. But I mean, outside of like they did hang 38 on Michigan. He played well. I'd have liked to see his touchdowns be higher. Cooked Illinois, which is supposed to have been good this year. Played really well against Ohio State. Played solid against Boise State in their close win. I still don't understand how this was so close. Throwing for 380, 49 passing attempts is nuts. Crazy,
Yeah, I
crazy work.
mean, the thing with him is I was expecting just more games over 300 yards. Doesn't have quite as many as I was expecting,
He's only
but
at two,
he's he's still, getting some rushing touchdowns, solid QBR, and he's winning. I think that's like the most important thing.
and he's on the
Um,
number one team, so
he's on the number one team. I
that
hope he
helps
wins
out.
it. That's who I'm rooting for
I wouldn't
because
be mad at it. Wouldn't be mad at it,
that's,
but
that's my quarterback.
I don't think he should win over Genty. If Genty even gets close, like I would say within 300 yards of the record,
Yeah,
he shouldn't win. Like it shouldn't happen. Like
yeah, that's who I
Genty's
have at
got
number one.
23 rushing touchdowns, more than Dylan Gabriel has passing. That's fucking nuts. And he finally got a receiving touchdown. So he's got 24.
Yeah,
Averaging 7 yards, almost 8 yards a carry. It's went down slightly, but
he's for sure going over 2,000.
he probably hit 2,000 this week, unless San Jose State has a decent defense. But
He needs to rush what 270 something, 270 something. I don't know.
it's
Um,
doable. But
yeah,
I don't think it's gonna happen. If he just got to keep padding with the touchdowns too. If he's not gonna break the yards records, he just needs to get as many touchdowns as possible.
if he has about like 2,200 and like 30 touchdowns, I don't know how you don't give it to him.
I mean, he's averaging what, like 3 touchdowns a game? Oh no, 3, 2, 1, 1, 3. I guess it's like two average.
Yeah,
Um, so he gets two this game, he'd be at 25. There's two more games after that, he'd be at 29. Just getting two every game, not including receiving
yeah.
touchdowns. So,
And I mean, he still does have a shot at breaking the record. Is it? I think it's kind of like a longer shot.
oh, and then you got the conference game too. So I guess he's got four more games to do it.
Oh shit, I didn't think about that. He might actually break the record.
What did we say the record was?
Like 25 something. I want to say is what the record was. Let
Okay,
me
so
look it
he's
up.
got 1734. Say he does two. Say he does like 210 for the next four games. It's 840.
26, 28 is what he needs. So that is quite a
He'd be like
bit.
he'd be like 100 short. If he averages 210 for the next four games, he'd be like 100 short. What'd you say it was?
26, 28, yeah. So
So that's
it's
he's got 894 yards to go and four games to do it. He needs to do 224 every game.
he could do it.
That's doable, man.
He
That's
just he
doable.
needs
This
one
one
game where he goes like
crazy.
300 yards. Like he needs
Yeah.
like a 300-yard game.
It's absolutely doable. This one might be a tough one for him, but and then depending on who they get in the conference championship. But Wyoming, he should. I don't see why you don't hang 600 on them motherfuckers.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like if the coaches just leave him in that whole game,
Yeah.
he
If he
could
wants to
probably
play,
break the
let him
record that
play.
game.
800 on fucking
Just
Wyoming.
just let him. Just let him.
Wyoming's just standing there. They're just like, "Ah, I'm not tackling this motherfucker. He's big too. He's a fucking big dude.
'Cause how are you gonna have a guy have this kind of year at your school?
It's never gonna happen again.
He he's fully capable of breaking the single game record of like 427 yards. He could easily do that, in my opinion.
Might as well do it on Wyoming.
Leave him in the whole game. Just let him break the record. He that
Yeah.
guarantees him the Heisman. Boise State will never have a Heisman after this, and they've
Probably
never had
not.
one before this.
Unless they get some crazy quarterback, which is it's doable nowadays with the landscape, but and then if if he does win the Heisman, this is just gonna open their school up to more looks from recruits. Like, okay,
Yeah,
what other fucking out of the top 10 schools in the country have a Heisman? Not very many.
yeah.
It's like the fucking 1905 when you had like Harvard and Yale and shit.
You gotta at that point you gotta retire his number.
Oh yeah,
Like,
name the field after it. It's Genty Field.
yeah.
I'm not even kidding. Not joking. That should be Genty Field.
He's having a great year. It sucks that he might not get it, despite how good of a year he's having.
It's criminal.
I still think they're gonna give it to Travis Hunter.
It's criminal.
Um, that's who I think's gonna get. If not Travis Hunter, probably Cam Ward.
Travis Hunter's not on pace to break any record
Yeah,
that I know. What, most snaps played?
maybe.
Okay.
I
You got
actually he probably won't even break that record because back in like the 40s, 50s,
that's playing all fucking game.
everybody played both sides.
Yeah. So have fun with that one. I don't know, man. Cam Ward might break some records. He's some ECC records at least.
As long as they can win, because I don't
If
know,
if they
it's hard to hold a
lose,
loss against a running back though.
if they lose another one and then he breaks the record,
I still
he
say you
still
give it
has
to
to get
him.
it.
I
This,
don't care if they lose every single game. If he breaks the record,
if he's averaging 300 a game, fuck the record.
if he breaks the record, I don't care if they lose the next three games. Just give it to him.
Yeah, it has to happen. It's
There's
good.
no way somebody breaks Barry Sanders' record of like 40 years.
That people never would. It was never going to be broken, is what they thought.
Yeah, no, you got to give this man the Heisman. I mean, even what he's doing now is like an arguable like I if you did this at the very end of the season, this would be an arguable Heisman campaign. Just these stats right here.
Yeah,
And there's still several games to go. And
this
this
is
is
already
like,
higher than what Derrick Henry got when he won the Heisman. I'm pretty sure.
yeah, it's ridiculous.
Like that was Derrick Henry.
Averaging 7.7 a carry. It's
Nuts.
almost a first down every time he touches the ball.
Fucking insane.
You're second and two almost every time.
You just need your quarterback not to fuck up. When they do throw the ball. So
Yep. Unfortunate that he might not win it, but having a great year.
I think if he don't win this year, we might as well not even cover the Heisman next year. No point. No point. I'm sick about it. Just thinking about it.
Let's see what we got coming up.
Um, Weekday games, nothing crazy.
Pulse is playing right now. Go Golden Hurricanes.
I mean,
Actually, real quick, look up Gus T Tulsa. You got to see this fucking mascot. Like it probably in Google. I
how do you
went to a
spell it?
Tulsa basketball game. Gus T like space T.
Like
Um,
T?
I like just write like the letter
Oh, I,
mask. I went to a Tulsa basketball game this past March. This is the worst mascot I have ever seen
looks like
in
he's got a
my
pile of
life.
shit on his head. It's
Yeah,
supposed to be a tornado, right?
yeah.
Yeah, it
Oh
looks
my
like a pile
God.
of shit, like a just a flattened.
I was dying when we were at that game because
Nah, you gotta change the color or something.
the little kids were like getting his autograph. And, oh, it's just like it's just the ugliest mascot I've ever seen in my life. Um, I
That's
thought it's
not.
kind of funny though. Gus T, like gust of wind. Um, Kind of
Yeah,
clever. I don't know why they're called the Golden Hurricanes. Is that what a tornado is called? A golden hurricane or something? Is that
I've
slang
never,
for
I've
tornado?
never heard it called that.
So I don't get it. But yeah, I just had to throw that in there.
Let's play
Um,
Washington on Friday.
I like it. I like it.
It's something, I guess, if you have
My
nothing
that's
else
my
to
like
watch.
that's like my second, third favorite team.
Texas,
Uh,
Arkansas. Texas on upset alert
I
on
would
the
say so.
road.
That's a rivalry.
Arkansas is a tough place to play. Utah, Colorado. I'd say Colorado they could definitely lose if Utah
They could
plays.
lose that.
I
I
mean,
think
they
Colorado
probably
wins, but
don't.
they could
Yeah.
lose it.
Clemson at Pitt. I'm sure Clemson. That's a rivalry game too. I think they beat them down though.
I think Tulane probably beats Navy.
Yeah. A couple weeks ago, I'd say no, but I don't know what the fuck happened to Navy.
Yeah, they kind of fell off a little
No
bit.
idea what happened to them. Oh, Mercer at Alabama. What?
Upset alert. No, I'm kidding.
It's not a great week.
Hey,
Boston,
when their weeks are bad, that's when the upsets happen.
Boston College, SMU could be fun.
Um,
LSU, Florida. I have two. I have no idea who's gonna win that game. This
Florida did
week's
announce Billy Napier is staying next year.
this week sucks.
Um,
Nebraska at USC. What is game day at? Tennessee, Georgia has to be.
yeah, it has to be.
Missouri,
South
South
Carolina,
Carolina.
Missouri. That's
But
a decent game. The South Carolina's gonna beat the fuck out of Missouri, but
yeah, Boise State's playing at a decent time, so probably I'll probably watch them. Oregon at Wisconsin could be cool. I like Wisconsin Stadium. When I was watching Penn State play there that night game,
yeah,
I was like, yeah,
that's cool. That's a cool
this place is
stadium.
sick. I don't know why I've never watched a Wisconsin like night game.
I like Wisconsin. I like their vibe.
Yeah, I do too. I just wouldn't
Like
want to play
I would
there
go
because
to a
it's.
game there. Like that'd be cool as fuck.
I just wouldn't want to play there because it's cold. So that could be fun. Tennessee, Georgia.
Damn, this week does suck. This is a really bad week.
This could just not even be a good game. Like Georgia could just if Tennessee don't have their quarterback, Georgia could just beat the shit out of them. Kansas and BYU. BYU's on upset alert here.
Kansas has played very, very good these past few weeks.
I think every loss they had has been within one score. Another Big 12 at night game. This game's gonna be fucking 12:30, 12:45 in the morning when it's fucking over with, barring overtime, which is possible. Um, yeah, BYU, honestly I think they lose. I think they're gonna lose.
Damn.
I really do.
I think they win, but I think it's gonna be another nail biter
Yeah.
because it's at home. That's the only thing that's making like if this was
And
at
Kansas.
Kansas, I think they'd lose. Um, because Kansas has looked really good.
Yeah,
It's
they
like
have.
Jalen Daniels and Devin Neal just woke up, and they
Yeah,
just woke up way too late. If they couldn't figure this out week 3, they
they
might
got
have been
slow
a
off the start
challenger.
for sure.
Yeah, this weekend does
This is
not
gonna be
look very
terrible.
fun. This could be an upset heavy weekend.
I mean,
But
well, honestly, likely. So, okay, BYU is likely to lose. Washington State, no. A&M, no. This wouldn't even be an upset.
yeah,
Oregon, it's a
maybe
chance. Boise State, yes. K-State, yes. That wouldn't be an upset.
um um
LSU, maybe. I don't know. I doubt it. If
I could
Lagway
see
comes
it.
back, I think he would be back. So this would be an upset, I'd say. Louisville's not losing to Stanford. This would be an upset. That's not happening. That's not happening.
You know,
No.
Virginia did just come off that win against Pitt though.
That's I
And
thought
could Notre Dame struggle
I guess
again?
Army doesn't play Notre Dame this week.
Like it looks like
Maybe
they're on a
next
bye.
week.
I didn't see them at all on this list.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, maybe. Sure.
Like I doubt
There's a
it, but
chance.
maybe.
No chance here. Um, would you consider that upset?
I almost feel like they're evenly matched. So I wouldn't say it's an upset.
I think Clemson could lose. Colorado has a potential. Texas has a
Good, but
potential, and then there's
I
no shot,
doubt
no
Ohio
shot
State
there.
loses that.
So yeah, I mean, there's like a good 5 or 6 teams that has a chance, whether it be a slim one, could lose.
I just feel like this is the type of weekend like
Yeah,
if you really
you come in sleepwalking into
if
these
you had to do
games.
something like this weekend, this might be the weekend to skip watching football. Like you got a wedding, this will be the
Yeah,
best weekend to have to go to a wedding.
for sure. Unless you were like a Georgia Tennessee fan,
Unless this turns into just a
absolute bloodbath.
complete chaos, which would be awesome.
Yeah,
Because
it would be.
I'll probably be watching this shit, but
Yeah, I
I
mean,
just
I'm
hope
gonna
it's not
watch.
boring. I hope it's not boring because
I just
then you're just like, I don't even want to watch. Like,
the,
especially if
the
there's a whole slot that's boring.
the like back half slate, like I think this would be a fun game. So like 3:15 on, there's stuff to watch. You got Genty if you want to watch him. And maybe Boise State lose. And then there's a game in like almost every slot that's like at least decent. But like the early half, ain't much up here. You kind of just gotta find a team you want to watch. Like you want to watch Travis Hunter and Dion play, you probably watch that game. Um, it's really this one and then this one. That's all you got. Ain't much. But that should carry you up into the later half. I don't know. Rough weekend, but
We'll see. We'll see. I hope we learn more about teams this weekend. Hopefully, we get more clarity at the very least. Like even if it is a bad weekend, hopefully just we know okay, this team handled its
Yeah.
business. Damn, you got an Oklahoma State shirt on. I just noticed that.
I've had this shirt for just like years. I don't know. I just it's a comfy little long sleeve.
They've lost 7 straight games.
I think Gundy has to be fired, right? It has to be.
Well,
They're probably gonna wait for the end of
apparently
the year if they
my
do it.
dad was telling me about his deal. I didn't even know anything about his deal, but like
Oh, so you
it's
got a lot of
like
money on the table.
every year after the season ends, he gets just renewed with another 5 year. Like so like it's just like
What?
it's a lifetime contract. Um
What?
so like every year
He
he's
used to bid for
guaranteed
five more
for
years.
5 years. Every year guaranteed
No
for five
way.
years.
What the fuck
Yeah.
is that?
Yeah, it's a lifetime contract is what they're calling it. So he might have like one of the hardest deals to get out of, and Oklahoma State probably doesn't have the fucking money to buy him out. So he might be stuck there. Look up like Mike Gundy contract. I'm just like kind of
That's
curious to see the details. Like, but I think it's a guaranteed deal. It's a top 5 year contract, a rolling
perpetual
5 year
5 year contract.
contract.
Holy shit.
Um Came with 114.5 million. So he's getting paid 7.6 million a year. So, I mean, it's not that much, but for Oklahoma
I've
State,
never heard of this before.
I think he might be the first coach to
An
ever get this
additional
deal.
years automatically added, maintaining a constant 5 year term. What the fuck?
Yeah,
Who whoever his fucking lawyer is or whoever the fuck negotiated this is a fucking genius.
whoever did this on Oklahoma State's end needs to be fired.
Like, why would you agree to this? Includes bonuses
$24 million buyout.
and
That's
defeating Texas. $1 million annual retention if he remains the head coach on December 20th, 2020. Oh, that's last year. What the fuck? If
but
they
he
were to
gets an
buy him out without cause, this is last year, they would owe him $24 million, third highest buyout in FBS, 23rd highest. That's actually not that crazy. It's the highest paid coach in the Big 12.
yeah. I mean,
Fuck.
I don't know if Oklahoma State has that type of buyout money.
No, I don't think so.
Like maybe, it's not terrible. It's not like a Mike Norvell level buyout.
No. I think that's 80 in the 80s for this
But I
year.
bet you, 23 million for Oklahoma State is probably, the equivalent of 80 million to Florida State
I mean, you
in
got all
terms
those.
of their budget.
There's a lot of rich people down there in
True.
Stillwater, like the oil barons and shit.
Yeah, the oil guys, obviously
The
Boone,
boosters,
Boone
they could
Pickens family probably still contributing.
get something together. I don't mean, that's a lot. They just have to like, we're not doing this. We're not renegotiating this 5 year thing. You get 5 more years and that's it. We're not doing this thing anymore.
I'd be like, man, just do the right thing and resign.
Like, come on, brother. No, that's fucking nuts, man.
Yeah, it's one of the craziest deals I've ever seen in my life.
I've never heard of this.
Like you would think like Nick Saban or Kirby Smart would have had something like this, but Mike Gundy has it.
I'd be fucking sick if this was my
There's
team.
no point of even giving him that deal because he doesn't want to go play for like he doesn't want to go coach anywhere else. This is his alma mater. He's not going anywhere unless you fire
Yeah.
him.
And he's not winning anything. So it's not like, oh yeah, we're gonna reward him. Like,
Yeah, it's not like oh Bama wanted to hire him last year, some stupid shit like that. Nobody
this is what
wanted
happened to us. We
him.
got fucking played.
Yeah,
No, that's nuts. Absolutely crazy.
not a
OSU's cooked.
single playoff appearance, not a single national championship appearance. One
It's
conference championship in almost 20 years.
embarrassing.
Uh, no, I don't know. I can't even talk shit about Oklahoma State right now. It's
Yeah, I
just
mean, yeah. We're all
it's a,
down there
it's a
together.
it's a very bad year for a lot of the teams we normally talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah, rough.
Well,
I guess
guess that's
we're pretty
it.
much at the end of the episode. Um, yeah, let us know what y'all think. And y'all have been commenting lately. That's cool. Keep commenting. Keep arguing.
Yeah,
Um,
not me. The comments trolling.
yeah, subscribe, all that shit. Oh, that was hilarious.
uh, I was like, I don't know. I was like, Travis Hunter's a bum or something like that. Obviously, he's not, but and then I didn't even realize my YouTube was my name, and I was like, oh, nice.
Yeah, I saw like you changed it.
Dude, I was like, God, it's for future. We're gonna change this.
That's hilarious.
I love
But
it.
yeah, like, comment, subscribe, all that, and we'll catch y'all next week. Roll
See
Tide.
ya.